and welcome back to Cotton Creations. Today I'm bringing you another vegan recipe, and for those of you that love Italian food but haven't quite found a really solid Italian food recipe, this one's for you. I'm going to be doing my veganized lasagna. Yes, veganized lasagna with all the cheeses. So if you're interested in this video, please stay tuned and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next great video. Let's hop into it. So to get started, we're going to blend our cooked or soaked cashews along with some minced garlic and some water, and we're going to do this until it's nice and smooth with a creamy but still thick consistency. And then we're going to add some lemon juice, some garlic powder, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper to taste, and we're going to go ahead and blend it again until all the seasonings and ingredients are mixed together very well. And once we're done with that, we're going to set it aside and work on our next step. So I do want to point out that you can still achieve a nice smooth texture with an inexpensive blender. I got this blender about 2 years ago on Black Friday for $20. Now what I will say is with my blender, I do have to hold it to the side for a little bit, to the front, to the back, and just kind of rotate it in order for it to like blend up and get those cashews nice and smooth. But hey, for $20, I'll take it. I mean, you don't have to have one of those high power blenders to achieve it. So for our next step, what you want to do is put a little olive oil in your pan, get it nice and hot, and we're going to saute the minced garlic as well as the onions until it's nice and fragrant. And then we're going to add the rest of our vegetables, the bell peppers, zucchini, mushrooms, jalapenos, broccoli, and we're going to just saute all of those for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then we're going to add our diced tomatoes as well as the tomato sauce and our seasonings. And you know, once everything has had a chance to kind of simmer together, you want to definitely give it like a little taste test to make sure that all those seasonings are coming through, and if not, you want to make some adjustments at this step. I also want to point out that you can also do any type of meat substitute. So if you wanted to do beefless crumbles or like Beyond Beef or the Impossible Beef or anything like that, there's tons of ground beef substitutes out there by different brands. So you could also do that instead of all the veggies or along with all the veggies. So I love fresh herbs in my tomato-based sauces, so I am going to be using some frozen basil today, but if it was in season, I would have definitely used fresh basil or some oregano or any of those fresh herbs to really take it up a notch. So now it's time to put everything together, and what I like to do is I like to line my casserole dish with some of the tomato sauce so that the noodles don't stick, and then I add some noodles on top of that, and then I start putting sauce and then ricotta cheese and then noodles, and then repeating those steps until it gets up to the top of the casserole dish, and then I'll layer it with some mozzarella cheese. It's always a good idea to make sure your pasta noodles go all the way to the edge of your casserole dish. And as most of you already know, the recipe for this is in the description box below. You can download it and save it to your computer, or you can print it out. So I've tried several times as far as using different mozzarella cheese brands, vegan mozzarella cheese, and none of them seem to melt on top of this dish for whatever reason. So today I decided to try a different technique to try and get the mozzarella to melt and give it some help with melting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little saucepan, and I'm going to heat up some almond milk and a little bit of Veggie cream cheese, and I'm going to melt that down. And once that gets melted down, I'm then going to add the mozzarella shreds, and I'm going to mix all of that together until it starts to melt the shreds and has like a, you know, creamy cheese sauce type consistency. And what I would also note, I didn't do it in the video, but I would also recommend adding just a little bit of nutritional yeast just to make sure that cheesy flavor comes through. And then what you want to do is you want to pour that on top of your lasagna and spread it around so it's covering the top of the lasagna, and then you can go ahead and place it in the oven and bake it. So let's take a look at this lasagna in the oven and see how it's doing. It's doing great. As you can see, that mozzarella cheese is, sorry about the camera, but the mozzarella cheese is nice and melted. And if we take a look at the sides, you can see that nice and creamy cashew ricotta cheese is so good. Alright, so you guys have to let me know what you think of this recipe. It's amazing. I've made it so many times. My taste testers all love it. I even added a few extra people to make sure that this recipe was tip-top and perfect before I gave it to you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And if you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.